Hello. I want to talk to you today about how to be more productive in your creative endeavors. Some of you may be full-time creatives, some may be semi-full-time like myself. I have two other jobs I'm also working because I'm crazy for some reason. And some may just be part-time creatives or even just occasionally for fun creatives. No matter how you come to it though, I'm betting you want more of it. I did the math the other day, and I've written about 9 books this year. They were short, about 40,000, 50,000 words, but still that's roughly about 400,000 words. That's the equivalent of 3 or 4 good novels, and all while working 2 other jobs. So I know a thing or two about how to be more productive in my creativity. And first, let me preface what I'm about to say with the caveat that everyone is different, and ultimately you'll need to find out what works for you. And if you're struggling with that, perhaps you could work with a coach to help you figure that out. And also, before I get to the specific tips, I want to say just a word about inspiration. Inspiration is great when it happens. And if you're waiting on inspiration to be creative, you're probably not going to be really productive. I think of inspiration this way. When you're inspired, you might create something great. If you're not inspired, you might create something good. Here's the important bit though. Creating something good is still good. Not all art has to be high art. Don't be a perfectionist. Create it, and if it's good, that's fine. Let it go. Because if there's one thing I know with 100% certainty about art, it's that some people will love it and some people will hate it, and there's nothing you can do about that. Doesn't matter how good it is. Which means if you don't need inspiration, you just need to keep at it. And that leads us to my specific thoughts on this, my tips. Number 1 is just do it. Do it as often as you can. Work as hard as you can while you're doing it. If you're sitting on the couch thinking, I should be blank, then maybe go and try and do that. Even if you're tired, if you manage to get a little bit of work done, maybe that'll make you feel just a little bit better. Number 2, get out of your head and onto the page or the canvas or the dance floor or whatever it is that you're doing. You may have a lot of excuses, you may have a lot of other things you need to do, or at least think you need to do, but if we have the time to debate whether or not we should be doing it, maybe we have the time to actually do a little bit of it. And number 3, sort of related to the first 2, don't grapple with your gremlins. And by gremlins, I mean the voices in your head that are telling you that you can't do it or shouldn't do it, or that you're too tired, or that it isn't good enough, and so on and so on and so on. If you're struggling with that, again, maybe you could try working with a coach. Also, there's a really good book I highly recommend called Taming Your Gremlins by Rick Garson. It's not a long book, and there's some really good stuff in there if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about gremlins and how to work with them. Well, actually not work with them, work against them so that you can get more done. Number 4, know your priorities and know when to sacrifice. I'm betting we've all sacrificed our creative time for something else. And that's life. It happens. But maybe sometimes you can sacrifice something else for your creativity. And that's when really knowing the priorities and what's important for you comes into play. And that's something where a coach can really help you out, is figuring out your values and how to work with your values to know when you can be working on some things and when you can sacrifice some things. And the times that I'm thinking of are the times when you're working and you're really engaged, you're really in flow, you're inspired, and everything is coming easy. And maybe at those times, maybe you just ignore that email or the washing machine, or you turn off your phone and just let your creativity be for a little bit longer that time. I'll have some more on this later. I'm all about being productive with your creativity, but this is a good start. So go out there and be your creative self. Do it as much as you can. And until the next time, remember, dream big, laugh lots, and create.